Hey guys, I would like to briefly talk about something I've been looking into a little bit recently. So it's really interesting. I haven't, yeah, I'm surprised I haven't really taken much notice of this before, but something um, it's very sad but very interesting about Japan is their extremely high suicide rate. Now they're not the highest. The highest is Lithuania, and Lithuania doubles the suicide rate of Japan. And just to give you some numbers, um, okay, well, for the 10th straight year, the suicide rate has been over 30,000 people per year. So, so yeah, every day there's a lot of people. If you live in Japan, or yeah, you walk around all day, chances are one or two of those people maybe not around by the time the new year comes. That's really shocking. But anyway, um, I'm someone that I really do like Japan. I enjoy the culture and I enjoy the people. But I have to ask myself why, and I've got to be realistic as to answering this question. Why does this happen? And um, to be brutally honest, the first thing that comes to my mind is that yeah, this society is very conformist. There is a lot of social pressure, and it actually says here. I'm looking at Wikipedia, by the way. I'm such a great investigator. I'm like an internet detective. Um, yeah, causes of suicide include unemployment, depression, and social pressures. Now, unemployment and depression. Um, yeah, how many other countries? Depression, of course, is like probably 100% of the cases. But unemployment, I guess there's this big pressure, especially growing up. Kids study so hard, and I guess they've got this idea that's ingrained in their head that they must, have some form of success. They've got this long-term view from a very young age that, I'm gonna be a salaryman one day. Um, I'm gonna have a suit, and I'm gonna be part of society, and I'm gonna fit this mold, this salaryman type of mold. And of course, it's not true with every single case, but I see it a lot. That's something that I have noticed. So, so yeah, it's a very interesting yet sad thing. Now you got to think, why is it another reason why it's so high? And of course, I've mentioned some reasons, but I guess other cultures they can deal with those sort of pressures a bit easier. But here in Japan, for a long time, and I'm talking not 100 years, but hundreds of years, maybe thousands of years, um, suicide is a has its place in traditional culture. And if you've heard of seppuku, you'll notice that um, you'll notice that people, if they had to settle a debt or if they had to restore their honor, they they would commit seppuku, which would be ceremonially, I guess, maybe not so ceremonially at all times, but they would stick a knife in their belly and move it across. You might have seen it in some movies or yeah, somewhere. So it's not a new thing for suicide to be so looked at so like with such toleration, so with such a tolerant attitude, I guess. Um, Suicide is also not it is not criminalized in Japan. It's not like a criminal act to commit suicide. And also, it's sometimes seen on many occasions. This is something I read as a morally what do they say? A morally responsible act. Yeah. And you see, this is one of the things about Japan that I think you've got to grow up as a Japanese person to understand it or to accept it. Because I think even if I do live here for a long time, that's one thing that I don't think I'll be able to um, just agree with or sympathize with. For me, coming from a Western culture, it's always suicide is not the answer. And you hear of many people who decide not to give up. Oh yeah, decide not to give up their lives and stuff like that. And also, yeah. But one thing that I do notice that I can sort of pick on about Japanese, and that is the way that they deal with these sort of dirty issues. Um, there are lots of social problems, you know. I don't know about domestic abuse or rape, things like that, but I do know that people drink a lot here. They smoke a lot here. They also gamble a lot here. You know, legally you're not supposed to gamble, but they've found, you know, a loophole. Just look into pachinko. Pachinko, okay? Do like a wiki search for that. Um, so yeah, there are a lot of problems, but you won't see anything, you know, you won't see any billboard campaigns or television ad campaigns kind of dealing with such social problems. They don't want to outwardly they don't want to address these nasty issues. They're things that are to be kind of be dealt with in private, or for the family to deal with in private. And again, to an extent, I do understand where they're coming from, especially because that type of way harmonizes with the rest of Japanese, like the Japanese psyche and the Japanese social way of thinking. So yeah, that's quite interesting. Okay, one interesting fact here. There is one place that's at the base of Mount Fuji, which is the most popular place for people to um, to kill themselves, and the most popular way, of course, is by jumping in front of a train. Now, okay, let me just find this little part. The most frequent location for suicides is Aokigahara, a forested area at the base of Mount Fuji. And so, as of in the year 2002, well, up until 1988, there were only 30 suicides there every year. But in 1999, 74 occurred, and the record until that was the record until 2002. 2002 was 78. 78 people in 1 year killed themselves. So that's more than one person a week killing themselves. I'm not sure. Probably, you know, they probably would have been at the train station when they did it. So yeah, as a result, the area is patrolled by police looking for suicides. And that same year, that's 2002, when 78 people committed suicide, 83 people intending suicide were found and taken into protective custody. So yeah, it says here, if you are a you know, around a middle-aged man, um, that's the highest demographic. So if you're a middle-aged man living in Aokigahara, yeah, you better you know, start taking care of your pattern of thought, let's say. Alright, anyway, I think I've talked enough, so yeah, if you have any more information, if you want to correct me on anything, please do. I invite you. Yeah, it's a sad yet fascinating subject, so I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, I'll see you soon.